we're back in the kitchen. This time we're making cream cheese cookies. So we're still going with the cream cheese here that you saw from our earlier recipes. Now, if you have any leftover cream cheese, here's a reason to use it. Now, what we're gonna do is I'll show you the ingredients and then I will show you the dry mix and the wet mix. So all the ingredients here, salt, baking powder, not baking soda like my other recipes, flour, we have eggs, we have white sugar, we have vanilla, we have cream cheese, 1 block, and we have half a pound of butter. We also have lemon zest from 1 lemon. So now that's optional as well. You could do whatever you want. You could even do orange zest. You could do whatever other flavors. Like all my other recipes, this is completely customizable however you want to do it. And all the ingredients will be in the description. This is how I do it. I'm going to show you now. So first things first, we're going to mix the wet. So what we're going to do is we'll put the butter first that we have all cut up. And it's important that your butter and your cream cheese both stay out for hours before you do this, because if they're too hard, then it just won't mix properly. So that's why I also have it cut up, just so it's easier to mix here. So now we'll put them both in there. We'll make sure to get as much as possible because this is not cheap and we're not going to waste any. And that's just the way it is. Now what we'll do is we will mix in the lemon zest as well. And very simply, we will mix this at a decently high speed. Out of 10, I'll say we'll go to 6. And while this is mixing, we'll be doing the dry mix. Now for the dry mix, while this is mixing, we have the flour in the bowl. What we'll do is we will put 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And we will put 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you're using salted butter or unsalted butter, you could fix this however you want. I'm using salted butter, so I'm only putting 1 teaspoon. That's another customizable quantity that you could use. Now, as we do with all our recipes, especially when we're using the mixing bowl, we always scrape the sides as well. We just scrape the sides down, make sure we get everything in there. And it should look something like this: the butter, the cream cheese, and the lemon zest. So the texture is, I mean, it's still quite solid. But now the next thing is we'll add in the sugar. So that's going to soften it up a bit. Now we're going to add in the sugar right here. And very simply, we mix again. Now that we have the sugar mixed in, let me just show you what it looks like. It's gonna look something like this. So now here, I'll bring it close to the camera, and that's basically the texture that it'll be, something like that. It's a little bit more granular than it was before, but it's less thick. Now what we'll do is we will add in the 2 eggs, just like that, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I won't measure because I don't feel like it. That's way more than 2 teaspoons. And we will now get it spinning once more. Once more, we are scraping the edge, because the edge is still a little bit more solid than the middle. So of course, whenever you're using a mixing bowl, you always scrape the edge, because what's gonna happen, and this is more important than people think. It's not only because it's bothering me by seeing, you know, all the mix sticking to the sides. Let me explain why it's so important that you clean the edge. Is because if the edge has too much butter in it, then when you finally make your cookies or anything you're making, muffin, cookie, whatever, anything that has that bit of extra butter is gonna burn in that spot. So sometimes if you make your cookies and they're spotted, some areas are more brown than other areas, it's because you probably didn't mix correctly, either the bottom of the bowl, like what I'm doing right now, or the side, or the edge, as I like to call it. Even inside your mixing apparatus. So this thing, whatever you want to call it, this piece, you know, you just clean it, you make sure you clean it up, because once again, you will get those solid pieces because the butter sticks to all of this. Now what we're going to do is we will add about half the flour. And the reason we add half is so that when I mix it, it doesn't make a big mess around my house. And no matter how many times I do this, I still make that same mistake. And the problem with flour getting in the air is that you could only clean it the day after, because by the time it settles, it'll take about maybe 16 to 20 hours. Now we will get this mixing again slowly at first, so the flour doesn't go everywhere. Slowly at first, make it mix in. We'll let this go for about a minute or so, and then we'll add in the rest. I lied, we are not going to let that go for a minute or so. We'll let it go for about 12 to 15 seconds because everything's already mixed in. Now we will add the rest of our dry. Half of it is falling on my counter. I should have done on this side. Same thing now. We start slow, like that. You know, you break it in. It's like when you cut that. Now, once it starts becoming tough, where it's sticking to your mixing apparatus, at that point, that's when you know it's time to stop mixing, because what's gonna happen is if you overmix this, it's just gonna get super hard and it's gonna make really hard cookies. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Obviously, all cookies could be hard or soft depending on how you cook them, or sorry, bake them, cook, bake. doesn't matter. What happens is if you overmix it, they become hard faster. So right now my cookies usually are good for 5 to 7 days. I'd say like by maybe even day 5 already they start becoming a bit tough. But if you would overmix them by maybe day 3, they're going to be tough. Now what we're gonna do is we'll finish off the rest of the mixing by hand. So we're gonna clean this thing and we're gonna scrape the sides. Like I said, we're gonna scrape the bottom and then we will work from there. All right, now all I did was I just scraped the sides and the bottom, mixed it up. Now I'll tell you guys something with this recipe. This is why I said I didn't take out the powdered sugar yet, and this is why I haven't turned on the oven yet. With this recipe, what's gonna happen is if I put this to bake right away, it's gonna melt and become a puddle. For some reason, the cookies don't hold. I don't know the science. So now what I'm going to do is, because it's about 12:30 at night right now, and I have to wake up in about 6.5 hours for work, and I still have a bunch of stuff to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up and resume this tomorrow. But if you want to make it same day, put it in the fridge for maybe an hour or so, cover it. I'm gonna put plastic wrap and I'll take it out tomorrow and it's gonna be easy to scoop. So we'll be back at that point, but remember to do that. And only at the end are we going to put the powdered sugar, which again is optional, but we'll talk about that when we get there, all right? So I'll see you guys in approximately, hopefully 20 or so hours. We are now back one full day later, just finished a work day, just got home from work, quickly got changed in the signature t-shirt cooking attire. And now let me just show you guys what this looks like. So we'll remove the plastic here. And this is basically what it looks like. Let me get a spoon just to show you the consistency. So it is a bit tough, as you could see here. You see it's a bit tough, it's hard. However, that's what you need to do, because then or else it's just going to puddle up. And once again, I can't really explain why. Now there's multiple ways you could put your cookies on a tray. Like you see in all my videos, I do it by hand. What I do is I just flop it by hand on top, or sometimes if I want, I'll make a ball and I'll put it. You could just take an ice cream scooper. That's what a lot of people use. I don't have an ice cream scooper. They're $14 plus tax at the store. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna buy that. And plus I like the non-uniformity when you use just your hand to grab some cookie dough. It's non-uniform, so every single one is unique. See, we're just gonna do this. Boom, that's a cookie right there. The non-uniformity, gotta love it. Why does everything have to be the same? You know, what is this herd culture, herd mentality? Doesn't matter, let's make them different. We now place the cookies on the cookie tray. They're all a little bit different, a little bit unique, so we'll see how they cook, the difference in size, height, etc. Some of them now, I'm gonna start them off at 9 minutes, but I'll check them out. So the first batch, maybe at 9 minutes, we'll see how they look like, because we're just looking for a thin golden ring around. As soon as it starts looking a touch brown, you immediately take them out, because don't forget, these also post-cook. So when you take them out and you put them on top, I mean, this aluminum tray here, even though it dissipates heat faster than the non-stick trays, it still does retain a bit of heat and it will continue to cook under. So we need to be careful of that. So we'll start now with the first tray since the oven is ready, and we'll be back in, just cut that part. I don't know when we'll be back. We'll be back. We are now back. We took out the cookies one batch at a time. We let them cool off. I just want to show you the difference here. One like this is 10 minutes in the oven. This one is 11 minutes. And this one is 12 minutes. So you see, let me just turn them all over so you can see the difference on camera here. But we have 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes. I also want to mention that for the 11 and 12 minute ones, what I do is I immediately don't let it cool off on the pan. I immediately scoop them up and could take them out since they're a little bit solid. So it's just something to keep in mind. Now, if you're gonna be using a non-stick pan, problem is that you'll burn your bottoms way faster with these cookies, because these cookies do hold texture. So let me take the 10-minute one just to show you. That's how it is broken up. They are quite thick in the middle. So what's gonna happen with the non-stick pans, it's gonna burn the bottom before you even get to cooking the inside. That's why I don't like using non-stick pans and I use aluminum. Obviously, price difference, personal choice. Something else I do too, and that you could do, completely optional, so we'll only do it with a few cookies here. Take some powdered sugar here, and we can use a sifter. Is this called a sifter? Oh, whoops, I'm gonna make a mess here. Cut that. Just like that. We're gonna move this here. So you can make a powdered sugar topping like this, or you can even make a glaze. You can make a lemon glaze like on my other lemon recipe that you could look back. I have 4 or 5 recipes that I use lemon with. You can make a lemon glaze, you could drizzle it. If not, you could just have it just like this. This is just to show you, you could put the powdered sugar. This is what it looks like inside. It is quite soft. This is the 10-minute cookie. It is now time to test the cookie. That's a good cookie. This isn't the chocolate super sweet style cookie. This is a less sweet style. At the same time, don't try to make it even less sweet. Do not put less sugar, because this cookie is just gonna be horrible. It's gonna be very brittle and it won't be good. You need to follow the base recipe like this. What you could change is the lemon. So for example, now there's a very small lemony taste. You could put maybe a little bit of lemon juice, or you could put maybe the zest of 2 lemons for a batch of this quantity. You get more of a profound lemon. This one is just a hint of lemon. You can use orange, you can use whatever you want. Customize it how you want. Anyway, that's the recipe. Like, sub, share, comment, share. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Do whatever you want, honestly. Do whatever you want.